Guys, this is a typical Nephilim architecture where you have the two keyholes, one on each side, and in the middle, that is always the portal. And we've had chiefs tell Tom Horn that that's exactly what that is. You know what? I wouldn't get in that thing for all the money in the world. Good morning, everyone. Hey, we're Chaco Canyon. I'm doing some videos out here, and just breathtaking architecture. But you know that this place here, I believe that the Nephilim came in here and drove these people out at about 1000 BC. And you know one thing you never want to do when you're in a site like this is pick up a rock and take it home. Because this is a charged site. And you take something home from a place like this and you're liable to be taking a demon home with you. So listen, I want to tell you a story about something that happened to me a long time ago, back in the 70s. Now listen, you have to watch this video all the way through, because in the middle I'm going to tell you something that I thought, something that Satan tried to show me. But I since learned the truth. So when I say something, don't think Pastor Bob believes this, because I don't, but it's part of the story. So listen, my wife, her sister, and my brother-in-law were all in our living room, and we smoked probably some of the best weed on the planet at the time. And I was just laying down on the living room floor, and all of a sudden, I was absolutely out of my body and taken to another place. Now people, I'm not saying it was a vision, a dream, because of the pot. No. I left my body and I was taken to another place. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, I'm perfectly straight, just like I am right now. I wasn't stoned, drunk, nothing. I was absolutely straight. And all of a sudden, I'm like back in the King Arthur days. I'm at a battle with all these knights, people with swords and everything, and I'm lined up with a line of men on both sides. And these people are fighting. I mean, there's blood, it smells. I mean, if you can imagine 1970s Bob just all of a sudden transported into a battle scene in like the King Arthur days, because that is exactly what happened. And I mean, I was like, whoa, what do I do? I mean, I don't know how to use a sword. And all of a sudden, I'm in this battle just looking around. And all of a sudden, the guy next to me, he turned around and looked behind us, and he let out a scream. And when he let out that scream, I turned around to look, and the iron gate, we were standing in front of the iron gate that goes over the moat, and that iron gate fell down, and it just absolutely squished us and killed us in a nanosecond. And I came up out of my body, and I came right through the bridge, and I looked down there at my body, and it was just mush. You couldn't have identified it was mush. And all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, all of a sudden now, I'm riding on a horse. And I look beside me, and there's a guy beside me on a horse, and there's people probably 15, 20 rows in front of me, 5 or 10 rows behind, and I'm in the cavalry. I've got a uniform on, and I'm riding with these men. Well, the first thing I do is I don't know how to ride a horse. I grab onto this horse so I don't fall off. But all of a sudden, I'm looking around, and I'm serious. I'm in, like, you know, the 1870s America. And people, I was there. I was absolutely taken out of my body and placed there. Well, all of a sudden, we're riding down this trail, and I mean, I hadn't been there but about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, I heard a scream. And I looked up, and this Indian came off this rock, and he grabbed me by the forehead and took me off that horse, and as I was going to the ground, he took his knife and just cut my throat and killed me in a nanosecond. And then I was dead. The fighting was going on, the attack, and I came up out of my body, and I looked down at that body, and it was a throat cut, just dead. And all of a sudden, I opened my eyes, and my wife is sitting there on my chest, and all the 2 other people that were in the room were there looking at me. Are you all right? Are you all right? And they said that I was absolutely white. White, like a ghost white. And I just sat there for a second, I said to my wife, I said, you guys listen to me. I know that reincarnation is real because I just saw 2 past lives. That's what I said. Well, listen, I got saved about a year later and I started reading the Bible and I realized what happened to me. What happened to me was because of the drug, because of the marijuana, that gave Satan the legal right to take me, and he took me out of my body and he took me to battle scenes, but that wasn't me. He showed me someone else's life way back when, because the Bible is very clear, there is no such thing as reincarnation. It is unto a man once to die, and then comes judgment. People, listen. After that happened to me, I could have wrote a book. It was that real. I could have wrote a book, and I would have been lecturing today on how I know that reincarnation is real. But it's not. And I've told this story to people, and I've had people say to me, you mean to tell me you would believe that book instead of your own experience? And I went, you bet. You bet. The Bible's true. The Bible's true. What Satan did to me, what Satan showed me, that's not the truth. That is a deception. So anyway, listen. Never rely on your own understanding. Never rely on your own understanding. And also remember this. Anything you do with your body, drugs, alcohol, anything like that, even sex out of marriage, sex when you're single, anything you do like that, you invite a demonic being right into your life. Right into your life. So anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you. No, reincarnation is not real. Even though Satan showed me 2 past lifetimes, they weren't mine. So anyway, guys, listen. You only get one life. You only get one shot at this. And you got to get it right. You need to put your faith and trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. And if you do, you will live on into eternity. If you don't, you won't. Choice is yours. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.